Hi guys, welcome back to another video. Today I will be sharing with you how I did my application to come to Canada without the help of an agent. Okay, so a lot of persons have been asking me, so I have my notebook. It says all good things are wild and free. Okay, so a lot of persons have been asking me how I did my application to come to Canada for school, and I did not use an agent. So this is my book that I've been noting everything in. So if you know me, I'm a girl who's just loves writing stuff down. I feel like it helps me to keep track of everything. I can go back, I can make reference, and my notes are all in one place. For those who are thinking about coming to Canada, the IRCC recently updated their policies, so a lot has changed. But for me, when I was coming here, the process was a little easier. So I'm just gonna tell you guys what I did along with the information that I know that the IRCC has recently sent out, right? Okay, so the first thing is I got a letter of acceptance from a DLI. Now, for those of you who don't know, a DLI is a designated learning institution. Now, during the pandemic, there were institutions that were appointed as DLIs, which meant that those were the institutions that were allowed to take students in, right? So when you apply for whatever program you want to do, ensure that the school or the college that you're applying to is a designated learning institution. That's the first thing that you need to do. And there's a list on the IRCC website that tells you the institutions that are DLIs, right? So check that out. That's the first thing. The second thing is you need to complete and submit an application for a study permit, right? Now, when you're doing an application for a study permit, there are 3 things that you need to ensure that you are aware of. Now, the first thing is that you need to have proof of funds. A lot of persons have the idea that they can just have someone put some money in their account and it suffices for proof of funds. Now, the IRCC obviously is a large entity. They know all the tricks and trades in the book. So if you do that, they are going to know that that money is not yours. So the safest bet would be to take out a loan, right? And you can call it an academic loan or whatever the case may be. However, when you are doing that, you need to show your statements. So they will require that you show your statements for, I believe, 6 months, the last 6 months. And with the statements, it's gonna show transactions that have been taking place on the account. So money coming in, money coming out, consistency of it, and all of that jazz. All right, so that's the first thing, proof of funds. The second thing is your criminal record. Now, for me, I did not require a criminal record, but some persons will need to do that. So that's another thing. And then 3 is medical examinations. Jamaicans are exempted from doing the medical examinations based on the information that I have obtained. I am not sure if it has changed, but that was the case for me. So I did not do a medical examination. So those are the 3 things. So after you've gotten your letter of acceptance, you need to type in an application for study permit outside of Canada. That's what you're looking for. Now, step 1 is you need to gather the documents. Now, first, when you go on the IRCC website, there is a whole lot of information. There is nothing that you could possibly need that is not on the website. Everything is there. They will give you a list of documents that you need for whatever application you're submitting. So if you're applying for a study permit, there will be a list of the documents that you need, work permit, PR, and so on and so forth. Now, for the study permit, you will need firstly the document checklist. That in itself, which is the list of items, you will also need that document in itself to take all the forms that you would have completed, right? You need your application for study permit made outside of Canada. That in itself is another form that you will need to submit. If you are taking family with you, we will need to complete a family information form, and they too would have to complete an application. If you have your common law spouse that you're taking with you, there's a form called the Statutory Declaration of Common Law Union that you would need to submit for that. If you are using a representative, in my case I did not, you will need to complete the use of representative form. And then if you are going to release your information to a third party, you would need to do the authority to release personal information form. And finally, for minors, if you are taking a child with you, then you would need to do the custodian declaration form. Now, for students who are coming to Canada, normally the IRCC requires us to say or give an explanation of why we are coming to Canada. That is called a letter of explanation. So you have to tell them that this is my reason for coming to Canada, and it has to be a legit reason. You can't just say, oh, I want to come to Canada to study. You can study anywhere else in the world. Why Canada? And also you have to have ties back home. This will strengthen your application and prove to IRCC that after your tenure, after you're finished studying, you will go back home. Because even though Canada wants people, they don't want people to come and pressure the economy, really. It's just kind of a confusing kind of the thing, but yeah, so that's what the letter is for. Now, after all of these documents are what you see on the website. Now, after you have downloaded all these documents, they will also need 2 forms of identification and 2 passport size photographs, right? You will need to copy your passport, and you will also need to get a co-op work permit if the program that you're applying for has a work component to it. Now, I personally did marketing, or I am doing marketing because I'm still enrolled, so I applied for a co-op work permit with my application. So you can send in both applications at the same time, and when you go on the website you will see the option to submit the study permit and the work permit. This work permit allows you to work when you're going to school or after your program ends and you need to leave for work. Next thing is, after you have done all of that and you have applied to the school, you've gotten your acceptance, then your school will send you an enrollment letter to say that your fees are paid and you're now enrolled. This is the letter that you will need to send off with your application for your study permit. At the time when I was doing it, there was a registration fee of 500 Canadian dollars, a visa processing fee of $100, an application processing fee of $150, and I had to do the biometrics, which was for $170, right? So I did all of that, and the biometrics, by the way, is done separately, and the application you do online on the website. You will do so on the IRCC's page. So now, to submit your application, you will need to create what is called a GC key account, and you can find that at cic.gc.ca. So you will go there to create your account so you can submit the application for your work permit and your study permit. You will then pay the application fee. After paying the application fee, that is when they will start processing the application. You can check the status of your application, you can update your information all in the GC key account. Now, let me just backtrack a little bit. When you are creating the GC key account, you will need to have a username and a password and security questions that you must remember, because every time that you are logging in, they ask you one of these questions. Sometimes they ask you the question itself, and sometimes they ask you the answer to the question. It has to be the exact way that you wrote it in the initial stages, so that is super important. You will then have to make an appointment to do your biometrics. While you're doing your biometrics, that information gets sent to wherever your application is being processed, and that also goes along with your application. So it's basically, your biometrics is basically your fingerprint to see if you have any criminal records or anything like that. After all of that is complete, you then have to wait for updates on your application. They will send you updates via the account that you've created, and they will also send it to your email. Once you get an update, I recommend that you check to see what it is about. It could be that they're requesting additional documents, or it could be that something is incomplete on your form. So always check for that. Now, if it is that something is outstanding and they let you know, they will give you a deadline that they expect you to respond to them within or by. Updates, they will always update the application via that platform. So if you don't need, so for example, for me, I did not need to do a medical or a police record. So on my application, whenever you check the status, you will see you do not need a medical, or you do not need blah blah blah, and we are processing your application. So you can always check on that, so you know how far along the process your application is. Once your application is approved, they will send communication also to say that your application was approved. So yeah, I hope that that information helped. If there's anything specific that you are having challenges with and you feel like asking me, go ahead. If I can help, I will definitely help. And all the best. Just be patient with the process. Make sure you read up on everything that you are doing, because policies change. So make sure that you stay up to date with all that is happening. And yeah, that's basically it from me. Like, you can do this, you know. And if this is something that you really want, just stay on it. And good luck, all the best. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I hope this information was useful for all those who are planning to come to Canada. It is not easy, but I am hopeful that it will be worth it. So stay tuned. I will see you in my next video, and thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.